Hi everyone, it's been a long time, and in the most recent Direct, they talked about Pikmin 4, as well as the Pikmin ports coming to Switch. That very day, we got them, and while I am enjoying them, I'd like to talk about something pretty interesting we saw in the Pikmin 4 trailer today. In a certain point in the footage during the Direct, we see an individual who looks remarkably like Olimar, except he has a Pikmin stem and is covered in red fur, hair, or some sort of appendages, making him look very plant-like. And he is accompanied by a dog who resembles a green version of the same species as Ochi. With these individuals is a castaway, which they then grab and then head into the cave entrance beside them. At this point, the footage in the Direct shows us Dandori battles, which it looks like are present in story mode, as a way for you to face this Olimar-like creature to test your skills in the single-player campaign as if it were a multiplayer battle. On the Canadian website, we can actually see more information about this segment itself. This footage clearly shows the Olimar-like creature has things to say and he's capable of speech, which we already knew if we looked carefully. But it's interesting enough that he talks in a manner similar to Olimar, and in case it wasn't obvious, I'm like 99% sure this is Olimar or it's some creature pretending to be him. But let's go with two possibilities here. The first possibility is that this is Olimar. No questions about it. Something happened, and he's a Pikmin now. We'll explore that one first. But the second one we're going to explore later is this is something else pretending to be Olimar. But I don't know if I want to explore that one today. So, let's talk about the first possibility. Let's assume, under this hypothesis, that this is Olimar. No questions. So, I'm going to call him Olimar from this point on. I believe this dog is actually a redesigned Bulby, made to fit the style Ochi is designed in, as they're both space dogs. Bulby is Olimar's family pet, who inspired the name of grub dogs in universe, Bulby becoming Bulborb, because the Bulborbs look like Bulby, Olimar's beloved family pet. This is mentioned inside Pikmin 1's ship logs, where it mentions that Olimar's family back on Hakotate and his dog, and there's a little illustration of them next to this entry. This is the first time we see a Bulby-like creature, or an Ochi-like creature, in the Pikmin world. And it's interesting that Ochi may have been based on the depiction of Bulby. Furthermore, Ochi is actually a mechanic that was designed for Pikmin 3, or at least considered at some point in development, where parasitic Pikmin were able to be used to control Bulborbs, so things like Bulbmin on a grander scale. This would allow you to do things like cross water by riding on their back, much like Ochi has the ability of in the final game. So, in a really weird roundabout way, Ochi was designed based on unused Pikmin 3 concepts that dealt with Bulbmin. Ochi is inspired by Bulby, based on Bulbmin, which are based on grub dog mechanics, which are based on Olimar's dog in universe, at least in the name. So, there's just this big circle of influence, both in and out of the game world, and also in the development world. That's pretty cool. But, going back to the reasons why, I'd like to investigate this. I can't say for certain what's happening here, but I can speculate whatever I like. It's the player in Ochi versus Olimar and Bulby. But this time, something's a little off. Bulby doesn't have a cotton ball on the end of its tail, much like Ochi, and Olimar and Bulby are both sprouting a leaf. So, have they both been Pikminified? Have they both been brought to the Onion in a last-ditch effort to revive them from death? Much like in the ending of Pikmin 1, Pikmin are able to, seemingly, carry creatures that they wish to preserve as leaders or guidances back to their Onion, which conscientiously turns them into a Pikmin instead of turning them into nutrients or Pikmin seedlings. We know this dream is referenced by Pikmin 3 as a nightmare Olimar has, according to one of his notes. However, maybe this is foreshadowing. Interestingly, within Pikmin 3 Deluxe's files, we can actually find an inverted image of Olimar among the captain icons. While obviously we can't tell what this is supposed to be, was this corrupted Pikmin version of Olimar planned for Pikmin 3 at some point in development? It's impossible to say for sure, but it's interesting to think about nonetheless. However, going back to the Pikminification idea, what's happened here? Why does Olimar want a castaway? I'd like to reiterate before I begin the speculation, however, this is all hypothetical. And by the time the game releases, our answers will be very clear. So if this video is eventually outdated, that's fine. However, with the information currently available to us, I think this is what's going on. The events of Pikmin 1, 2, 3, and Hey Pikmin are canon. They happen, and that's it. Pikmin 3 finishes. I don't know if the side stories are canon, but let's say, for the sake of this theory, that the side stories are also canon. Olimar survives Pikmin 1, he survives Pikmin 2, he survives Pikmin 3. The Copiites visit the Earth in Pikmin 3. Olimar makes a connection with the Copiites. Louis is left behind multiple times, but eventually makes it back on the ship. Olimar is able to repair the Dolphin 1, also known as the Hokotate ship, or the Rusty ship. This allows him and Louis to go back to Hokotate and buy back their original SS Dolphin that belongs to the company, but is also Olimar's beloved ship. Olimar has it all. He's safe, he has his ship, the company has their ship, Louis is safe, the debt is paid twice over, and now the Copiites are no longer starving. It's time. Olimar is happy. Olimar is safe. Olimar is joyously reunited with his family. And that's when it happens. Let's take a vacation. In Pikmin 3, it talks about this exact topic, and this appears to be present in both the USA and the European versions, as well as, I'm guessing, in the original Japanese. This idea of a vacation may have been our hint. So Olimar packs up his family dog, Bulby, his son, his daughter, and his wife in his brand new SS Dolphin, purchased back from the debt collectors that bought it so long ago, and heads off to PNF 404 with his loved ones. Then something goes horribly wrong. Maybe it's the crash, maybe it's the wraith, maybe it's the umibuzu. I don't know. But something happens, and not only are they separated, Olimar and Bulby are in trouble. Maybe Olimar lands on the planet just fine, maybe they establish a base camp, or maybe they're attacked as they're entering orbit. Something goes wrong, and Olimar and Bulby are separated from the wife, the daughter, and the son. For the sake of narrative, let's go with it's been 30 days. Olimar has been searching for his family. Bulby and Olimar are alone with just the Pikmin, and they can't find his wife, son, or daughter. It's been so long, their air supply has run out, and the poisonous oxygen is about to kill them. Now that they've passed out, and they need to be saved, the Onion takes them in and turns them into Pikminified versions of themselves, hence the leaves. Olimar returns back to life, as well as Bulby, but now there's a problem. They still don't know where their family is, and they can never go home. You see, we don't know for sure, but it's very interesting that the Pikmin sprout on Olimar's head replaces his antenna and helmet. So, ideally, he can breathe oxygen on the planet's surface. For those uninitiated, it doesn't look like the Copiites and Hokotatians can breathe oxygen-rich environments safely for long. This is mentioned in Pikmin 3 as well as Pikmin 1. In Pikmin 3, they mention about being okay for a little bit, but it appears the concentration will kill them. Oxygen is poisonous, as noted in Pikmin 1, but this may be retconned to just be simply hazardous in large amounts. In the same way we can breathe carbon dioxide, but we can't breathe too much of it, maybe Olimar and the Copiites can just breathe whatever they can, but the oxygen on Earth is what damages them the most. So Olimar and Bulby are now Pikmin, and that explains so much. Why are they looking for castaways? Why is Bulby so sad? Olimar looks like a mess. But that explains the behavior. Olimar has become more Pikmin-like. He's a god to the Pikmin in some ways. He's a leader, he's a respected individual. They draw pictures of him in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. Maybe he's revered as something important. It also explains if Olimar has more traits to act like a Pikmin. Almost tangentially, he's become one. He is the bridge between leader and Pikmin. By being a hybrid, this also means he cannot return to Hokotate without a helmet. He cannot resume normal life, unless he's reverted, somehow. If he's looking for castaways, Does that mean he's just simply trying to find his family, and every castaway you find has the potential to be his wife, son, or daughter? So when he finds a castaway, he's trying to keep them safe, and maybe even convert them to being a Pikmin, because they have to live in the same world. Maybe Olimar has said, screw this, I'm taking my family and living as a Pikmin, and they're all going to join me as a Pikmin, and we're going to live on Pianaf 404, away from my debt, away from my company, away from any issues, away from my planet, happily, as Pikmin, where it was always meant to be. I don't know. Only one way to find out is to play the game when it releases. I'll be going dark when this game comes out and playing in the isolation of my quiet playthrough, so I won't be looking at spoilers when this game releases. However, I am very interested to continue this discussion once everything is complete. So what do you all think? Please tell me below. Write what you think Olimar's reasoning is. Why he's a Pikmin? Is this even Olimar? Could this be some creature disguising itself as Olimar? Could it be an imposter, an imitation? Or maybe it's just some kind of mimicry the Pikmin have figured out. I don't know. What do you guys think? Please tell me in the comments below. Thank you all for listening, and thank you all for watching. I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye-bye!